you keep referring to Jesus and to the New Testament. I myself am a Christian, but I was wondering, do you find not only the normative but the sole access to Jesus as being through the New Testament? In other words, what is the role of established churches? Many Christian denominations see Christ as being mediated mostly through Christian communities.
Yes. Well, I see the church having had in the past first of all, the church formed because the end did not come in the life of the early disciples. They really thought that when Jesus said he would return, he meant next Monday. They didn't ever expect to form an institution. They put all their belongings in common, and they said, repent, hurry, 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 hurry. The kingdom is coming. Hurry up. Change your mind right now, because you will be judged according to the state you're in, which is very interesting, because I must say I find myself saying exactly the same thing. But what happened, of course, is that the end didn't come. So Paul started to write letters, the epistles, to all these little congregations who were waiting for the end to come. But being human, they started to have all these other problems, sex and money and leadership and jealousy. So he had to say, well, do this, do this, do this. And so you got the beginnings of the early church, which was persecuted. Then, as you know, you got Constantine, and the church became institutionalized, which was to some degree a disaster from the point of view of the original impetus of that church. However, regardless of all the institutional problems that have come in the church, the thing to me that is so extraordinary, that for almost 2,000 years, this promise of total transformation was kept and passed on generation after generation. When you think of what the communion ceremony really says, it's take, eat this in remembrance of me. You shall do the works that I do. You are to become like me. And through the Dark Ages and the Middle Ages and the Renaissance and the early science, and then recently people making fun of it all, they kept on saying it. Now, what I think is happening is that promise is the greatest promise and the truest promise, and it's starting to happen. Now, the problem with any institution is that when what it's been preparing for actually starts to happen, it may be the last to know. It may be the one saying, whoa, 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 wait a minute. We really don't want to see all this change, because we are good at giving you the promise, but we don't know what to do about the reality. And so it's usually upstart outsiders who come along and say, hey, you've been right all along, and then they're ostracized by the institution, like Teilhard de Chardin, and they carry on the great tradition. And institutions disappear, but the promise will not. Now, I hope this isn't heretical or blasphemous, that the church of the future will be the church of the acting out of the promise. And I think what those of us who are attracted to such things as the planetary Pentecost and the acting out of the new potentials need the guidance of the promise. We have to be guided by something. The church, unfortunately, is not stepping up front and saying, here we've got a model to guide us. They are saying it's not normal to do these things, it's not natural to do these things. But in fact, the founder of the Christian religion manifested a total transformation. So what will happen is Jesus will be used by those who are transforming. And my own Christian mission, if I could say it, I have one, is to point out to people that we have the model of that toward which we must move.